The world of esports may be a mystery or something very common to you. On this, the Juhadre podcast in association with Rated R Esports, we're going to talk a lot about it. So without further ado, let's jump right into our episode. Another wonderful Friday and a huge welcome here to the Juhadre podcast. I am Juhadre.
And I am Alvatross 17.
It's episode number 6, Alvatross.
Yes, it is.
And
yes, it is.
I'm loving it. This is a good time. I thought about it over the last little bit, and everything we've talked about has been relatively positive. You know,
I'd say positive, yeah. We've really been trying to talk about where to go if you want to get into it. So today we're going to talk about something different. Before we get into that, we have an announcement. Today, the episode, I didn't get a notification that it was uploaded yet, but it should be up on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Stitcher?
Was it Stitcher or SoundCloud? SoundCloud, not Stitcher. My apologies.
I have confirmation of iTunes and Google Play.
Woot woot.
I haven't heard specifically about the SoundCloud, but this episode might be listened to on iTunes and Google Play for the first time. Instead of on YouTube. So that's...
Oh man, YouTube, I can't get over the fact that like you want to watch something, well, naturally you're going to close your screen before you put it in your pocket so you don't start dialing people. But
but if you're watching something, the purpose of YouTube is...
I use YouTube to test bands. So
do I.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
And I always click it off. Anyways, but okay, next update. We just got a bunch of foam, but we just got to get adhesive spray, and that'll definitely help with the verbiage in the room. Right now, still working with the microphone. I apologize if it's still kind of echoey or hummy, but we're working on that.
So what's really funny, as I was doing the editing last little bit before we get started, while I was doing the editing for episode 5, you remember when your son came home and he went, "Ah!"
Yes.
Well, it just so happens that there was other echo and things I wanted to remove. So now it's just a long silence and then you saying, if you heard that, that's my son. So it's just going to be really confusing for people.
That's funny. And if anybody hears that other weird hum, there's a dang fly in my damn room. Oh my gosh. Anyways, okay, moving on. Okay, so
like I was saying, everything's been relatively positive and our subjects have been in that direction. But today I want to talk a little bit more about the negative parts of esports, what can happen and things. And it's actually an appropriate time to do so because this has been a really weird week for me, at least. Like, things have just not gone right. And so I am currently experiencing what we're going to be talking about.
That's awesome. Because, to give you a little background, Juhadre and I are opposites. I am actually the person that I am a pessimist. And he is uncomfortably optimistic.
Uncomfortably. Come on.
I wouldn't say I'm like a pessimist, but I definitely can. I like to see the negative side of everything as well as the positive. But anyways, I love this subject. So when we were talking about what should we do today, he came up with an idea and I just absolutely loved it. Everybody has these moments in gaming. Nobody can ever get away from it. The topic we have today is burnout. Or, as I like to call it, rage quitting.
You're really on the rage quit thing.
It's because that is like the... I raged quit so much on so many games. So I'm like, when you say burnout, I'm like, I'm just burnt out by the game, man. But I'm like, no, rage quit.
Okay. So that then broadens the scope we can talk about, which is a better thing. So let's talk rage quit first because it is a more instant feeling. It's not so long lasting or anything like that.
So rage quit, I looked up the definition and it was exactly what I was thinking about. So rage quitting is basically, it's the feeling where you're not going to make it, you're going to lose, and you're just getting mad at it. And you're not comprehending in your head, you know what, it's just a game, everything's fine. You're just mad because you're not moving forward. You're dying too much. You can't reach your goal. You're going to lose. You feel like a loser. You're just mad. And then you end up either A, throwing your controller, breaking your keyboard, screaming loud words, yelling stuff you don't want to really say, and rage quit.
Yeah.
And you quit.
And so repercussions come from that, not just for yourself, but for if you're in a team game, anyone that's on your team then also feels those negative effects of
which brings up something, because when you brought that up, I had to ask you, because I know you've had stories in the past.
Okay.
Rage quitting. How do your teammates handle when they actually are, well, as you say, burnout, or I say rage quit? I mean, they're two different things.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, you know what? They're two different things. How do your teammates handle rage quitting?
As in, if someone...
Have they ever?
From one of our practice games or professional games, no, they have not.
Dang it, I was hoping for a good story.
No, come on, man. So it's the way I explained it to them is this is a job. So, you know, if you're coming and you're playing and you're doing what you're asked, that's your job. If you're like, you can't just walk away from work without repercussions.
True.
And so and in addition to that, everyone is trying really hard to improve, to try and work together to create success.
So nobody's had any rage moments where they just want to quit for the moment, at least.
Well, there have been very frustrating games where just nothing goes right. Someone underperforms, or we had a substitute that week, or a weird disconnect. There were things like that, but no one just quit. I cannot speak to what they do during the week when they're not working with us, when we're not in a scrim or in one of our leagues.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that most of my players are quite happy people.
You ever rage quit yourself?
I have.
Okay.
I don't think that I've left. All right, hold on. I want to say I have, but I can't think of an example. I have finished out the game and then not played for a day or two. I don't know if that technically counts.
Well, when I say rage quit, I'm not like saying you quit, you're done,
right.
You're out. I'm not necessarily saying that.
But I don't believe that I've left a game without it being finished either.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I
know what you mean.
I try hard. Like you said, I am. What was the word you used?
Uncomfortably optimistic.
That's the one. I am so uncomfortably optimistic that the whole time we're losing, I'm like, don't be like that, guys. We can do this.
So to give everybody a little bit of what I'm trying to say, it's not that he's uncomfortable. If anybody's ever seen that 70s show, there's the episode where they're trying to give Hyde the bachelor party, and Randy looks at Fez because Fez has seen every positive outlook of the fact that they're arrested. They've got arrested by the wrong cop. And he's just being super weirdly, uncomfortably optimistic. That's how Juhadre is. He just finds the most positive thing out of every situation. And it's just...
It's inspiring is what it should be.
It can be, because you're definitely my opposite on that one.
Right.
Which is good, But
so then coming back to rage quitting, everyone will go through it, but I think what we need to talk about is it happens and what to do if you're starting to feel those effects and what to do to counteract them.
Yeah, definitely. I will tell you, and I know in the moment it is hard. I have the worst with it when I get rage, when I just want to rage. Because, for example, Dead Space. It's so bad. I like playing it on the hardest setting. And you're not going to make it through that without dying. Like, the game just is so built for it.
Mm-hmm.
I rage quit all the time. I busted a controller doing it.
Did you really?
I did. It wasn't more just a rage. I actually got scared in the middle of it. So we were in my buddy's basement. His name is Lucky Charms. So his parents had this big old screen TV, the one just with the giant speaker underneath.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Everybody had to have it. It was a square. But we were playing on the Xbox. And this is when we broke it. And we were playing. And I was just getting so mad because I just could not get... It was actually Dead Space 2.
Okay.
And I was on the elevator when you got to go up the shaft to defeat the boss, but you have to survive from all the zombies that are climbing all over the elevator. And I died. I was probably doing it for probably a good 3 hours, that game. When I got to that part, I wasn't playing that part for 3 hours, but I could not. I had restarted so many times. I finally got so fed up. I was so mad. But the game's really scary. That's the mood you're in. His dog comes running down the stairs, and he has a black-haired dog. Scared the piss out of me. I was already raging, and I threw the controller. It hit the wall, busted. We had to go to a new one. It was
unlucky.
It was pretty bad. It was...
Yeah, I have felt rage like that playing story games on a console for sure. My brother and I would do that a lot. We didn't break controllers together, but we would play the story games and get really, really frustrated. But again, it's been so long, and I can't remember any specific examples.
I haven't actually rage quit in a while, to be honest.
Right.
Like, I think it's because now I'm like, I've got a wife, I've got a kid, and I can't really do that in front of them. So I'm already consciously like, just put the game down, walk away. Plus, I really don't want to break my expensive PC setup.
Yeah, I know.
They're a lot more expensive than just replacing a $60 paddle.
Right, and I helped you actually put all this together, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, that's not something you want to just break.
No,
good.
No, it is not, because I don't want to use the backup mouse I have.
So then, let's say that maybe you're the type of person who doesn't rage quit, but someone in your game is and does.
That's a good point. What do you do when that happens?
I think that there are a couple of options, depending on how many. So, especially in a team game, how many of the people on your team are you and your buddies? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if there's just one random who decides to just leave, you have two options. You can either continue. I guess you have three options. You can continue to try and win the game. You can mess around just understanding that one guy down you're going to lose, or you can leave as well. I think those are the three options.
I can see it. Yeah.
And so even if you're not in the company of people you already know, I think that the second option is the best one. So
just keep playing.
Keep playing and try to have a good time. Either try and find a silly thing to do to make it worth your time being in the game, or try and learn from it. You know, try some weird mechanic, some move you've never done, go after some objective that you've never done before. You know, those type of things. Try and have a good time because it's a video game, right? That's the whole point.
That's a big thing you got to realize is it's a game.
It's a game.
It's a game. Now, it may be game is life.
Right.
But I mean, it is a game. You can come back to it later. Everything's frustrating, but yeah, rage quitting. Oh, I was actually telling Juhadre right before this that I was on my breaks at work. I was watching rage quitting videos. And that one, I'm pretty sure it was staged. The kid that just grabs his old 90s keyboard. It's so gross and yellow. It gets mad, picks it up, smacks his friend across the face. I actually think that one was staged. Otherwise, why would they have been recording it at that time? Especially the year that was made.
No, and that's the thing to remember is most of those really are staged.
Oh, yeah. Like, that one had to have been staged. But I've seen some where people get so mad. I mean, you're button mashing. What's the word? It's when you mouse clicking. It's not button mashing. There's a special word. I've heard it once.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Spam clicking or something?
Yeah. Your spam. Just click. Yeah, I've seen that all the time. Consoles. I mean, I've seen people throw the paddle. Mm-hmm. People are mashing the paddle. I've seen somebody start to bend it. Oh, that was the old PS2 paddle. Those were flimsy.
Yeah, they were, and that's what I played growing up was the PS2 for a while.
Do you think they actually took that in consideration when they made the Wii? Like, okay, we better put an arm brace.
One of the tests, they did the bowling game, and some guy threw it through his TV.
Oh, because you release it. You're supposed to, you release the button. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
And so from there, I believe they decided they should probably put a strap on, and maybe they had it from the beginning. I think people are genuinely smarter than just giving you a controller that you're moving. Like, I'm waving my arm right now, even though no one can see it. But
I'm just watching you just wave your arm.
So if you're waving your arm, I imagine most engineers and designers are smart enough to say, "Ooh, let's get something to keep it in there."
We should probably put a hand strap on that. No,
but then after the bowling incident, they had to put it in the beginning of every single game. Hey, make sure your wrist strap is on.
That's just hilarious.
I think so.
Oh man.
So that's actually the second time we brought up the Wii in interesting stories.
I gotta be honest, the Wii is not a bad console.
I don't think
the thing is it's completely different than others because you got the Xbox and the PlayStation that were meant for an entertainment console, whereas the Nintendo Wii, the Wii U, the Switch, they're family gaming systems.
Yeah,
because you can't watch movies on them. You can watch Netflix on them. They have apps like that, but they're not like the Blu-ray player. They're not the music player. Mm-hmm. That's not what they were intended for. So that they stuck more towards the family vibe instead of here's the entertainment system.
So here's the real question, and viewers, go ahead and chime in at Juhadre at Alvatross17. Have you ever rage quit a Wii game? like a Wii sport, like the bowling or the basketball or the golf or anything like that.
And if you have a picture of it, of the aftermath, and it's a good one, I really want to see it.
Or a video even. I would love to see those.
I'll take a video.
Yeah.
I'll take a video.
That would be a lot of fun.
Those are funny. Some of those videos are funny.
I agree. And like, I'm thinking about it. You're talking about how it's a family oriented thing. Could you just imagine some like 7-year-old kid playing with their parents and their dad outscores him, mom outscores him. He just loses it and throws the controller and all that. Okay.
You threw the stuff. You threw the throw the controller. I was gonna. We just saw that like a couple weeks ago.
Oh
yeah. But
all right, so that's rage quitting.
Quitting.
People leaving the game. How you deal with it is up to you. But I hope that everyone, if someone rage quits your game, that you find it within yourself to overcome that. To say, they're having a rough day. It shouldn't impact how I feel. Let's have a good time because it is a game. And
I agree.
I also want to bring up, like, there's a difference between playing a game and competing in a game.
Huge difference.
Right.
We talked about that too.
And last week we did talk a lot about that. And when you're at home playing, even if you are, ranking up or trying to get better, all those things, just remember that it's not competing quite yet. And so you can have these kind of issues. But
everybody does. It doesn't matter if you're the best or not the best. You're going to have an issue. But if you're going to rage quit, do it appropriately. And if you're not going to do it appropriately, make sure it is caught on video and worth it.
Okay,
but don't do it on purpose.
Here's another avenue of rage quitting that it's not quite the same. It's what's called inting. Have you heard that term before?
I've never heard that term.
It's intentionally feeding.
Trolling, in a way.
Kind of. Trolling is you do something that you think is funny just to annoy people.
And that is a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, we're going to do another one about that, I think. But
it's going to happen. Internet trolls.
But intentionally feeding is when you are so done with the game that you're just like, I don't want to try anymore. And you just run and run and run. And no matter what comes at you, you keep running. So you end up dying a lot, which gives gold over, which gives experience over, which stops helping your team. And all these things. It's the same idea where you have given up and you are no longer helping your team play the game.
Gotcha. I've seen many people do that. I hate it when they do that.
Well, right. And in my opinion, it's the same thing as rage quitting. It does no good to anybody.
I'd rather have you just stand there and not do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Leave the game. If you are toxic and you're ready to rage and all these things, I would prefer that you just remove yourself from the situation and let us goof around. That would be much better.
I got you exactly what you're saying. No, that I've seen many people do that. Like we back when I used to play Team Fortress 2.
Oh.
You always had that one kid, why can't I get there? And now they're just starting to run and they're, dude, you're not doing anything.
No, I'm making it worse, in fact.
I mean, no, they're not making it worse for me because they don't hurt my stats, but they're just super annoying.
Right. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So then that's what rage quitting is. And in my opinion, that's more of an instant emotion. It's something that rises up really quickly and subsides rather quickly.
Yeah.
But now I want to steer the conversation to more into what's called tilt and burnout. So tilt is the things that make you want to rage quit, but you don't. And you let it kind of fester. And then you go into your next game with those same thoughts and those same feelings. Mm-hmm. And so it instantly puts you on tilt.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm doing more hand signals.
That's right. Yeah, you can't see. We really got to get a video up at one of these days.
I think we really do. It's gonna be it'll be really exciting, honestly, because I'm an animated person.
Yes,
not
you
like
are.
Drawn animated, but I move my hands.
If you could watch Juhadre, he talks with his hands. I'm talking with mine right now.
Yeah,
now that I'm like saying that.
And it's one of my wife's favorite things about me is that I am very animated and I use my hands to explain and to show emotion and structure and things like that in sentences. So we'll moving on. Tilt is not playing your game. It's playing with baggage. It's playing because someone else.
Your mindset is still stuck in the past.
Exactly.
That last game has tilted. You're still leaning backwards. You're still falling back into the other game rather than moving forward to where you're supposed to be.
Right. And so that, I believe, is a real issue in competitive gaming.
I believe that. I honestly believe that. I've seen so many people that dragged out. Well, even with our friend group, we'll move on to another game, and they're still talking about that other game. Just move on.
Right.
We all stopped playing that for that reason.
Yeah, because
move on.
Yeah, we were all tilted and ready to leave, and so you play a different game. It might be the same game, but a different round, different different characters or something. But I honestly believe the remedy for that is to just stop playing that game
and stop talking about
it. Maybe you need to vent it to someone who wasn't there once, and then you're like, oh, a nice sigh, and okay, I think I'm good.
Yep.
And then you play either a different game, or you grab a snack, or you watch a video, any of these things to kind of remove your mind from that place. And I think that's what tilt is and how to deal with it.
Do you ever have an issue with that with your team?
Yes. Okay, now, so here's the other deal. Tilt is it's kind of an in-between of our three little topics here. Rage quit, I believe, is a very quick emotion and resolution. Tilt is kind of in the middle, and then burnout is a very long process. And so with tilt, it can be very instant and last a while, or it can take a while to get up but subside really quickly.
Yes.
And when our players are playing, there are things that genuinely should not be happening, but they are. For example, just the other day, one of my players went down to do what's called a gank. It's a roam to attack an enemy. They call it a gank. And he had roamed half the map, cast a spell, and his character stopped moving.
Oh no, did he lag?
No, it wasn't lag. It just wasn't responding or moving. Everything else was still moving. So you could tell it wasn't frames per second. It wasn't internet issues. There was no lag anywhere. The character just stopped moving.
And you don't even know why.
Yeah, no idea. I remember watching that and being like, I really hope he lagged out. But then when we talked about it later, he was like, no, that was not lag. The character just stopped responding.
Oh man, I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, that's a tilt.
Yeah.
And so if that's what you think is going to happen every time you go down there, you're never going to go down there, and then you lose your advantages.
Well, yeah, because that's the experience you had.
Exactly. And so for the rest of the game, it kind of moved him off a little bit. Not too much. This guy is actually a really... I can't use the word professional because we're not a pro team. We're an amateur team.
But you're working to it.
Exactly. So he's very...
Pre-professional.
Yeah, he's really good about that kind of stuff. He's pre-professional. Now I can't talk. He's pre-professional pretty much positively all the time.
That was a lot of P's, bro.
I know. I tried really hard.
It was like a PPP.
Nice. So, he got over it relatively quickly, and it doesn't affect him very much. And, props for that. That's really good props. But then there are other players. Actually, League of Legends recently did a whole deal where it categorized 5 different types of tilt. And you took a little test to see which one you were and gave some suggestions about how to overcome that. So if you haven't looked that up, I recommend searching it because it's
Now, do you just go to LeagueofLegends.com to search that, or where do you go?
No, I would just say types of tilt test or something like that.
Okay.
Type of tilt test, because I don't know that it's on the website anymore. And
so is it like, so it's not actually a League of Legends thing, it's just something
it was.
Oh, okay.
No, it was right there in the game client, and it was specifically about League of Legends parts. So it used their vernacular. Nice word, right?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, it used the terms of that game specifically, but it's applicable everywhere. You just need to know what those words mean and how they translate into your game.
Gotcha.
But yep. I highly recommend it because tilt is a real issue. And it can be either really fast to come and fast to get rid of, or it might be slow to come and slow to get rid of. You just need to, it's all about your mindset. And we talked about that during consistency and when to take things seriously. A lot of times, actually. We've talked about that.
We talked about it's one of the biggest things.
I agree.
Is your mindset. But anyways, moving on. Okay, so the next one.
Yes.
Since we're beating that one to death.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we did spend a little time. I'm tilted.
You just keep going around every angle. We're gonna poke this. Anyways, poke the bear. Anyways, burnout. Now, when I think of burnout, I'm thinking of somebody spinning their tires doing a burnout, or I'm done with this. I'm just over it.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. In most competitive games, you have a ranking system.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how hard you try, let's say that for 6 months solid, you're sitting in a certain rank and you cannot go up. You're doing everything right. You play really well, but nothing you do increases that rank, or you feel like you're not getting better.
Okay.
Or on the opposite side, say you do get into this really high level and you're playing and you just kind of stop feeling satisfaction from knowing you're a top player or from winning or from other things like that. And you're just suddenly, you're burned out. You've used
losing interests. You're just so mentally, you're just not in it anymore.
Yeah. And now this is not the same thing, I don't think, about, like we talked about last week, about being boring. It's not that it's boring.
No, I get you. There's a big difference there. If I may.
Yes, please.
There's a difference between a boring game and you're burned out. And that's how I am with Diablo 3. As I'm burned out with it. I'm just I've already done everything. It's so, in my opinion, I'm just done with it. I'm ready for Diablo 4.
Right.
But I wouldn't say it's boring because I really enjoyed it when I played it, but I got burned out with it. I played it so much, I was like, I'm just done with it.
Yeah, and so that's why when I was sending you those texts and I said burnout, you're like, is that rage quitting? I said, kind of.
Yeah.
Because it technically is. And so, our episode today is just mostly about these negative things that can come in, but burnout, I think, is a real thing that can be avoided entirely.
It can, depending on how the game is played.
Correct.
Again, it goes back to mentality is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to how you play the game and just the direction you want to go.
Right.
So, the point for you don't get burned out by Diablo, and I'm using that as an example because that's your go-to game.
Yes, it is.
Diablo 3, let's be specific, Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls for those of you who are being sticklers.
With or without the Necromancer expansion?
With, bro. Come on.
Of course.
Come on. Necromancer expansion. Come on. Yeah, right. But anyways, you're not burned out from it because that's your go-to game. That's how you rejuvenate.
Yeah.
I used a big word there. Yes, I did.
I like it.
Yeah. Anyways, but that's your go-to game. Just like for me, my go-to game is Skyrim. It's because it's a whole nother world, and my mindset is I'm that character. I can get into it just as you do that. This is my character. This is me. I'm doing all this. Mm-hmm. You enjoy that, so you're not burned out by it because of your mentality. It's your go-to game.
It also helps that there are 6 different classes with 6 different sets each that I have not mastered.
Well, and they also just up the torment level.
Yeah, 16. Oh, yes, buddy. Buddy.
I got on the other night. You were like, we're doing 16. You gonna join? I was like, hell no. I don't even have a character. You're just gonna be carrying me the whole time.
Well, that's the point.
I know, but
anyway, yeah, you're right. I don't think I'll ever get burned out of that game.
That was another reason why I got burned out, is because I have a wife and a kid. My kid's so young. He doesn't play games yet. Mm-hmm. My wife doesn't game. Then that's her brother's fault because they would never let her play.
Oh.
So I hope they're listening. Thank you, boys. Love you guys, but damn you. Anyways, she doesn't have the gamer mentality.
Right.
But anyway, but I got burned out of always just being carried. I wanted to do the one that was doing the carrying.
Yes.
I don't. Once in a while, it's fine. Yeah, dude, let's get this character up. I'm going to get it. And then I'm like, I'm not doing anything but just walking. I'm not killing anything. I'm just gaining experience and walking around. And, oh, you don't want that gold? Oh, hey, you can have this. Well, thanks, man. I didn't really earn it. You're the one that killed the monster.
Right. And I can feel that.
And that's why I got burned out with that. So there's my burnout.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why, when you see me do play, I'm like, Blaine, I'm not playing with you.
Oh.
I'm like, guys, no, I'll talk to you, but I'm going to go do my own thing on this game.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I got burned out from that. So
now let's apply this to esports. There are professionals and streamers now who used to, I'll rephrase, there are current streamers and esports personalities who were burned out by the game. and they decided to retire and move into other games and
finally
stream
get
other things.
girlfriends.
So,
I'm just
actually, it's funny you say that. It's funny that you say that, and we'll talk about that another time, probably off air.
I'm sorry. It's a joke between the two of us. It's an inside joke. You want to hear about it? Twitter us.
I think you mean tweet.
I don't know. Okay, look, I'm 28 years old. I'm not a teenager anymore. I don't even consider myself a millennial.
That's weird.
It's because I can change a tire.
We're not going to talk about that today.
Anyways.
But so this burnout idea is if you play the game so long, you no longer enjoy it. And I think that, again, is a really big problem, but it's so avoidable.
Yes.
But see, here's the problem is I don't typically burn out of a game.
Is there a game that you've been playing for so long that you're not burned out from it? I have one right here. It's in my head.
The two games I have sincerely and genuinely played for a long time are League of Legends and Diablo 3. Okay. And I'm not burned out on either of those games.
Well, that's good. I mean, like I said, it's your mentality. I know you personally, and I know, again, you have a passion for League of Legends. I mean, we go to your house every time there's a tournament or a championship or some setup.
It's
whatever.
the World
Series. That's the World Series. That's what I was looking for. We always go. We watch it. You enjoy that stuff because you're into it. You also manage it. You also cast it. We're doing a podcast for not specifically Legends, but for your rated R Esports. But the game that I don't get burned out with is always Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
That one specifically, or Zelda?
It depends on the Zelda.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna stick with that one because I can play all the other ones, but this one is specifically one of my favorite ones. I know every single piece of it. I used to have a damn book, but
I remember those books.
Yeah, I used to have because my sister bought it because she got so upset that she's like, I can't find this, and I was like, I can.
Right.
But I wasn't going to tell her. I was like,
no, you got to let them figure it out. That's the point of a Zelda game.
Well, that's the point of any game.
Right.
Yeah, let's be honest. The point. But she went and got one of those help books, and I memorized that thing. My brother took it from me. I'm pretty sure. I'm blaming him, even though I've got no proof. But anyways, that's a game. I can go back and play that, and I don't get burned out from it. And I think it's also because I space it out. I'm not just, I beat the game, now I'm going to go replay it. Because to be honest, I understand last time I said a good story, and also a game that lasts long. I can beat that in one day.
Right.
It's not a very long game. But anyways, I enjoy it. I'm not burned out from it. That's another thing is sometimes you got to space out your game. Diablo is different every time you play it. That game is the same every time you play it.
Yeah. And that was what I wanted to talk about is basically the easiest solution to all three of these things, rage quitting, tilt, and burnout, is you need to take some breaks.
Oh, that's true with just about anything, but gaming specifically, I 100% agree. Taking a break, because sometimes just taking it. So I'll go back to my rage quitting, taking a step back because everything's just so instant. You're just constantly going, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But taking a step back and having that overnight to think about it. And it doesn't have to be a night. You can take an hour, go get lunch, go get a burger, get out of your mom's basement. I'm sorry. I'm so taking these jabs today.
So it's okay, I hope, because our listeners need to understand that, again, it's just an inside joke between us. And that's why you and I laugh at it every time.
Well, I'm going to get some flack for it.
Yeah, but it's not specifically geared at anyone because we are your people. That's the thing to remember is we are these
No, I'm
people.
not. My parents never had a basement. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. But
yes.
Sometimes just taking that moment, it just clarifies. You're like, wait, what if I tried this? So much different. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But taking that, have you ever stepped into a negative situation, whether it be gaming or not, and after that situation happens, you leave, you think about it, because let's be honest, you're going to dwell on it. Not everybody's going to dwell on it for longer, but you're going to think about it. And then you come back to it, wait, what if I try this? You're going to come back to it. And it works.
Exactly.
Sometimes. But getting that air.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give a medical reason for taking a break too. Not just to help with tilt or burnout or anything. I had the blessing of 3 months ago getting LASIK surgery. So when I was there, I was talking to the guy and he's like, do you use a whole lot of computers? Do you do that a lot? And I'm like, well, I play and I manage a team. I cast. My work doesn't really use it that long. But so tell me this. Isn't it the same thing as staring at a TV? He's like, good question. So check this out. The reason that playing a game on a PC or a laptop or on your phone is so stressful on your eyes is because your eyes have individual muscles.
Yeah.
Your eyes aren't just an eye. There are muscles inside them. Mm-hmm. And when you're looking at things that are close, those muscles flex. And if they're held there too long, they get stuck.
Yeah, they get strained.
Exactly. And so when they relax and you're supposed to see things far away, that's where nearsightedness comes in. So when I would ask us, that is really interesting. So it has nothing to do with like burning your retinas or anything like that. No. It's just, it makes those muscles so used to being flexed, and tensed that it hurts your vision that way. Because when they relax, they don't know what they're doing anymore.
No, yeah, because they're so muscle memory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what
you're literally talking about everything that was in like one of my first psychology classes when we were learning about like eyes. I don't know why that was in my psychology. We're going to learn about eyes.
That's so weird.
I'm literally watching like in my head the giant projector as it's talking about all the different things that happen to your eyes. It's funny. But, anyway.
But so here's the point. He said as long as you take, if you do an hour of gaming and then look at something far away on purpose and let your eyes focus on that thing far away for 10 minutes or so, you can go right back. So even if you're not tilted, if you're not burned out, if you're not hungry, do it for your eyes' health so you can play longer.
I'll give you that. It's the same way as when you go to the gym. They say, well, you don't just want to focus on one. You got to give it a little bit of a break to relax a little bit, then go back to the rep.
Which is what, the joke is always leg day. You need to have a leg day so your upper body can actually do what it's supposed to do.
And so you don't look like a chicken.
You are correct. Yes. But that's why there is a different day. You don't work everything in one day because your body needs to rest. Everything, your brain, your eyes, your body, everything needs a chance to relax.
Your freaking fingers when you're playing a PC. I'm sorry. That hurts.
It does.
It does. If you don't have the right setup, you got to have like the forearm guards too sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Because your forearms, as your biceps are holding up, triceps are holding your arms up, right at your shoulders and your elbows. It gets annoying. I'm constantly moving my keyboard just because it does it, and then I got to go take a break.
So check this out. I broke my ring finger knuckle on my right hand when I was 15. And writing, using a mouse, all these things for extended periods of time, it inflames a weird joint there that has never fully healed.
So you're saying it still happens?
Oh yeah.
It just gets very irritated?
Yeah. It's been almost 15 years since that happened. And
Gross. We're almost 30.
You had to say the number.
Dude, you're the one that said when I was 15 and 15 years ago.
Okay, but then let people do the math. Nobody likes doing math, so no one would ever know. I could still be 25.
I'm sorry.
I forgive you. But anyway,
sorry.
But that's what I'm saying is you're right. The stresses are there. If I can feel it just in that knuckle. And you know what? How often do you really use your ring finger knuckle?
Yeah, it's so weird when like something in your body gets injured, how at that point you're like, oh my God, I never knew that like did that much work. Right. It's so intriguing to me.
It is. I agree. But like, that's what I'm going to say is, giving your body and your brain a rest, not just for tilt or anything like that, or your emotions if you're angry or anything like that, or disappointed in yourself or teammates or randos on the internet. It doesn't matter.
It's healthy to take that break.
It's good for you physically.
It really is. I can't tell you how many times, like if I play all day, so let's say my wife's out of town. This has happened a few times. She's out of town. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to get the pizza. I'm getting my blanket. I'm not wearing pants. I'm going to play video games all day. But I mean, by like 6 hours in, I'm like, dude, I got to stretch.
Yeah.
Dude. And then, you move your leg once and then you do that whole like twirl thing where like, I can't even get out of this stretch. It feels so good.
Right.
Between games, loading screen, get up, stand up. I actually do it all the time now. I'll get up and I'll stretch once in a while. But my wife will walk in, she'll walk past, she'll go, "Oh, are you getting done to be playing?" I'm like, "No, I'm just stretching. Back off, woman."
Oh my gosh.
And she's just like, "Oh."
So
I'm
that's
just joking. I don't talk to my wife like that.
I know you don't, which it's always weird when you're in these little scenarios and characters and you say something. I'm like, you don't say things like that.
I know she wears the pants in the relationship. She says, "No, you can't play." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am."
So do you know who wears the pants in my?
Not you. You don't like pants.
No, I wear shorts. And there's your joke, everybody who complains I don't have any. I am not kidding.
I have so many things I can say about this right
I am
now.
not kidding. Like 4 or 5 people have said, "You're not as funny on that podcast. Where are your jokes, your dad jokes and the puns and things?" I said, the name of the podcast is a joke. Like, let me have that and let me have a serious conversation.
Okay, you know what? Okay. If they don't think that's funny, let me insert a little joke. Okay, so when Juhadre was dating his wife, I actually can't remember her gamer name. Landell. Okay, I was like, Anyways, Landell, one of their dates, he went to pick her up on a date, and he actually had pants one day, but they were jeans. And her dad was like, "That's what you're wearing?" And she stopped her dad right then and there before Juhadre could say anything. Her dad, just the look on his face. Do you remember that look? And
I
she
definitely
told
do.
her dad, "Nope. It's fine. It's fine. Like he's wearing pants. Don't worry about it."
I wasn't even wearing a polo. It was a t-shirt. It was a t-shirt and a pair of jeans, and I walked in. He's like, "You're gonna take my daughter out wearing that?" And I can still see his face, and I just smiled at him and said, "Yup."
It's the pants. It's pants. See, but that's funny. Everybody's got their little thing, and I know we're off topic, but for me, it's shoes.
Yes, I do know that about you.
I hate shoes.
When you were at my New Year's party, you went out in the blizzard in flip-flops and cleaned off your car.
I was wearing pants. I was wearing a jacket and flip-flops.
I think you even had a hat on.
I had a beanie with my hood on.
Yeah,
and I was helping other people with their cars because that snow was coming down sideways.
It really was. It was intense.
Flip-flops are life.
So then I think this is a good place to wrap up. I do want to say, though, that I've been listening to a couple other podcasts, and they're a little bit more professional, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But I think that's one of the allures to our podcast is this is very natural and very raw. We go off on tangents. We have the weird echoey room. You and I discuss what we're talking about like the day of.
Okay, yeah. I was hoping we would never say that, but we don't really do much research.
I can edit that out.
Nah, don't worry about it.
But it's very real, and it's something that can, I hope, connect with people, and I like that about it.
Okay, so then let's do this. For any of our listeners, we want to improve this podcast. Give us some feedback. Do you want us to remain professional, or do you like the tangents we go off on?
I like it.
Okay? That's the question. Okay? Because I listen to podcasts. I love sometimes tangents. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes I'm like a little too serious for me because I like something that I can, that was nice. I like that. But anyways, yeah.
So then why don't we say this? We already know that I'm at Juhadre on Twitter. You're at Alvatross17. 17.
It's actually not 17. Somebody asked me that once. Wait, so Albatross 17, you're 17? I was like, no. I just came up with the name when I was 17. It's now Alvatross 17.
I like it.
Yeah.
But don't forget to check out at Rated R Esports, at Rated R LOL. You should already be on the Rated R Esports YouTube, but look for this podcast on iTunes and Google Play.
Yes. And I got nothing else.
I don't think I have anything else. Do keep an eye out for when we do come out with an email address and a Twitter for Juhadre as a podcast as a whole. We will be checking into that. And until no, one more thing. I was so excited.
But wait, there's more.
I hate that I do this. I really do.
It just reminds me of that commercial every time you do that.
So last week, we asked for people's opinions and tweets and everything about...
Well, but remember, that podcast got posted today. So.
And that's what I was going to say.
I got nothing yet.
I know, and I was thinking about it just yesterday. I was like, man, I really haven't received any messages about that podcast that hasn't been posted yet.
Yeah. Well, like
so
I said, normally you give me the update that says, hey, it's been uploaded. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I didn't get that. And part of why I'm relatively tilted this week is because on Wednesday I didn't get the editing done that I wanted to, and instead of having it sent to everyone to get it fully ready and posted up, I went somewhere else. And so I didn't send it until 6:35 this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't judge me.
I'm not judging. I can't judge. Okay, I'm done.